friends, welcome back to our lecture series on game theory. So we were going through the solution concepts in game theory. In the last lecture we have seen the use of dominant strategy. Today we will talk about dominated strategy and we will see that what is an IESDS. This is iterated elimination of strictly dominated strategy. So we realize that the dominant strategy, if any player has a dominant strategy, then they are going to use it, and that will be the equilibrium strategy for that particular player, and then this way we can find the final outcome of the game. So we realize in the prisoner's dilemma both the players had a dominant strategy, that was Fink, and the equilibrium was Fink. But there may be games where we do not have dominant strategy for any of the players. Then what will happen? So what we do, we use iterated elimination of dominated strategy in such kind of cases. Now question comes, when I have said dominated strategy, that what is an dominated strategy precisely? So let's use the idea of prisoner's dilemma again. So this is the matrix form of the prisoner's dilemma, where there were two players, 1 and 2. These were actually the prisoners, and player 1's actions and payoffs are stored in blue color while player 2's in black color. So here we realize that the strategy Fink is giving -1 for player 1 when player 2 is playing mom, while mom gives -2. -1 is better than -2, so Fink is better for player 1, or mom is worse for player 1 when the other player is playing mom. Mom is worse for player 1 when the other player is playing Fink as well, because 5 is less than 4. So we can clearly say that strategy mom gives worse payoff than the strategy Fink for both the players. So we can say that mom is strictly dominated by strategy Fink for both the players, or conversely that we used in our dominant strategy, that Fink strictly dominates mom. Okay, so we know that the players will not play a strictly dominated strategy. Now let's technically define a dominated strategy. So we say that SI in this strategy space SI and SI dash in strategy space I. So this I subscript is saying that this is these strategies in a strategy space for player I. Be possible strategies for player I. We say that SI dash is strictly dominated by SI if for any possible combination of other players' strategies, S not I means player who are not I, players other than I. S not I in S not I, player I's payoff player I's payoff from strategy SI dash is strictly less than what he gets from SI. So it means that SI is always giving him better payoff than playing SI dash. This is exactly same thing that is written here. The utility resulting for player I when he plays SI, given every other player plays S not I, is strictly greater than utility that results when he plays SI dash. For all actions of all other players, S not I with their strategy space S not I. Okay, it means that SI dash is always giving lesser payoff than SI for player I. So this is the dominated strategy. So SI dash is dominated by SI. There can be weak domination as well, and the argument will be same, only the notation will change like this. So when we are faced with a game where none of the players has a dominant strategy, we try to identify the dominated strategies and eliminate them. By eliminating them, we reduce the size of the matrix and ultimately we may reach the outcome. Some dominant strategy may arrive and we can finally get the outcome. So we are having a look at the 5G game. So here the players are two telecom companies, Airtel and Vodafone Idea. They are in India, right? So now everywhere the telecom companies are preparing for 5G. So both Airtel and Vodafone Idea are planning whether they should build a large capacity for 5G, a small capacity for 5G, or they should stay with 4G only. And the resulting payoffs are like this. So here one thing is very clear that none of the player has a dominant strategy. You cannot find one study that is giving best payoff irrespective of what the other player is doing. As an exercise, just check that. So now what we need to do, we need to find dominated strategy. So let's try to see if we have any strictly dominated strategy here. So let's see. Uh, I'm making a claim that for Vodafone Idea, that is the player 2, strategy large is strictly dominated by both build small and stay with 4G. Let's verify this claim. By playing large capacity, Vodafone Idea gets 1 if the player 1 is also playing large, 12 if the player 1 is playing small, 18 if player 1 is staying with 4G only. While by building small capacity for 5G, Vodafone Idea gets 8 compared to 1, 16 compared to 12, 20 compared to 18. So build small is strictly dominating build large for Vodafone Idea. Now let's see what about stay with 4G. Vodafone Idea gets 9, 15, 19 compared to 1, 12 and 18. So it means this is also strictly dominating build large. So I can write for P2 large is strictly dominated by both small and not build or stay with 4G. So what we do when we come across this kind of strategy, what we do, we actually strike off this. So this is gone now. Okay. So now what happens? Let's check. We just chalked off that particular strategy from the strategy set of player 2. So now the game became a 2 by 3 matrix, 2 columns and 3 rows. So this is called reduced form, and this is the first reduced form because this immediately follows the main game. So this is the first reduced form. Now we try to see that do we have any dominant or dominated strategy here. For player 2, 8 versus 9, but 16 versus 15 and 20 versus 19. So we cannot right now compare about player 2's strategies only. We have to look back at player 1. So for player 1, again I am making a claim that large is strictly dominated by small. So large gives 12 for small for Vodafone and stay 18 compared to small that gives 16 compared to 12, 20 compared to uh, 18. So in this situation we realize that large is being strictly dominated by small, and if we compare staying with 4G and build large, then this is giving 15. Let's change the color. This is giving 15 while this is giving 12. So this is dominating, but this is giving 18, this is giving 18, so this is equivalent. So we say that for player 1, stay 4G is weakly dominating large, right? So ultimately we realize that large is being dominated either totally or weakly. So what we can do, we can strike off this as well. So then we will achieve our second reduced form. We have done the second set of eliminations. Okay. So now, uh, now what happens? Now we realize that the game has become a 2 by 2 matrix, and now players have a dominant strategy. How? If Vodafone Idea builds small, then Airtel is best playing build small, this one. If Vodafone Idea builds this stays with 4G, then build small gives 20 while stay with 4G gives 18. For this it is 15 versus 16. So build small is now a dominant strategy for player 1. Strictly dominant. What about player 2? For player 2 also build small. Let's compare. This is, let's change the color. This is 16 versus 15, 20 versus 19. So for this player also build small is strictly dominant. So now we see that we started with a game where none of the players have a dominant strategy. We eliminated strictly dominated and weakly dominated strategies, and we arrived at a game, a smaller version of the game, where both the players have a dominant strategy, and that is build small. Now because this is the build small, so players will this is the dominant strategy, players are going to play this. So final outcome will be build small, right? This will be the final outcome of this game. So this should illustrate you that when we are faced with a huge game like this, where we don't find any dominant strategy for any player, we should not lose hope. Look for dominated strategies, and any rational player will not be playing any strictly dominated strategy in the equilibrium. So we can safely remove that, and we can ultimately we may arrive at a dominant strategy, and we know that this is the equilibrium strategy. Now you should notice one thing here. Not only the players are knowing the entire structure of the game, they also know that the other player is also rational, because the Airtel was able to remove this particular strategy large from Vodafone Idea's action set, only because Airtel knew that this is strictly dominant for Vodafone Idea, and being a rational player, Vodafone Idea will not play this. Similarly, when Vodafone Idea was able to remove build large from Airtel's strategy space, it knew that being a rational player, Airtel will not play build large. So we will actually arrive at an interesting and important result. So before arriving at that, I want to give you another example so that the point becomes and process becomes very clear in your head. So this is the next game. This I have borrowed from Gibbon's Game Theory for Applied Economists, another gem of a book on game theory. So see, here we have two players, and then uh, the player 1 has two actions, up and down. Player 2 has three actions, left, middle, right. So this is different from the previous games, that now the actions are different, number of actions available are different. So we see, so two strategies and three. So strategy space of player 1 is up and down, and player 2 is left, middle, and right. Now for player 1, none of the strategy is strictly dominated. Up gives 1 1 0 compared to 0 0 2. So for these two, up is better, but for this, down is better, right? So this we can see that what is best for player 1 depends on what player 2 is going to do. Now look at the player 2's payoffs. When we look at player 2, then we realize that if player 1 plays up, player 2 can get 0 by playing left, 2 by playing middle, 1 by playing right. If player 1 plays down, player 2 gets 3, 1 and 0 respectively by playing left, middle and right. So we realize we cannot compare ideally left and middle, because here this gives 0, this gives 2, but this gives 3 while this gives only 1. But we can definitely compare middle and right. Here we are getting 2 while this is giving only 1. This is giving 1 while this is giving 0. So middle is always strictly dominating right. We cannot also compare left and right because 0, 1, 3 and 0. So what we realize now that player 1 can realize that player 2 will not play right either because that is strictly dominant. And giving this realization, he will remove this strategy right from player 2's strategy space. Okay, so this is what is happening, and this is very important. If player 1 knows that player 2 is rational, then player 1 can eliminate right from player 2's strategy space. Now this game became a 2 by 2 matrix. Now both players have two strategies only. So see, now we can look at player 1's game. We realize that if player 1 plays up, then he gets 1 1 for left and middle respectively. With down he gets 0 and 0. So up is now strictly dominating down because it is always giving a better payoff. So it means, looking at this game structure, player 2 knows that if player 1 is rational, he will never play down. So player 2 can actually chalk off down from the player 1's strategy space. That is exactly what is happening. So we are again claiming if rationality is common knowledge, then player 2 can eliminate down from player 1's strategy space, and then the game will become 1 by 2 matrix. So now what is happening? We have one action only for the player 1 while player 2 has two actions, and clearly we see that for up of player 1, player 2 will be better if he plays middle. So this will be the equilibrium outcome, and we will write the equilibrium outcome in terms of strategy as up middle. This is the equilibrium outcome of this game. So now we can actually so now we are in position to make one interesting observation, and this is that what are the requirements for dominant strategy equilibrium and iterated elimination of strictly dominated strategy. So we realize that for using dominant strategy, only rationality was required. Okay, because if players are rational, they will always choose their dominant strategy, and we will arrive at the equilibrium outcome. That was the case with the prisoner's dilemma, right? Here, both were rational and they realized that playing Fink is always better than playing Mum. So both will play Fink and we will reach here. But in this situation, when we use IESDS, the requirement is actually much more strict. Players are to be rational, as well as their rationality is supposed to be a common knowledge. This should be available to everyone that the other player is rational. So this requires rationality and common knowledge of rationality. So the requirement here, information required is much more than simple dominant strategy equilibrium. So this was the IESDS. Now IESDS is also not free from problems because first it requires a lot of information. Second, oftentimes it may give very imprecise prediction. Like let me draw this game and we will take up from here in next lecture. Suppose this is player 1, this is player 2. The player 1 has one option boxing, another is opera, this is boxing, and this is opera. The outcomes are 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, 0 comma 0, 0 comma 0. Now we cannot use either dominant strategy or IESDS for getting solution of this game. So what does it indicate? Does this game doesn't have any equilibrium outcome? Or do we need some refinement over our solution concepts? We need some better solution concept that can actually give solution for this kind of game. That is from where we will take up in the next class. So till then, stay safe, bye, and happy learning.